Thank you for taking the time to learn more about effective referral generation. As you follow this presentation, please don't hesitate to pause or rewind to jot down some answers, role play some techniques, or simply to hear something again. Enjoy the presentation. Today's presentation has three simple objectives. 1, overcome any concerns that you may have that are preventing you from successfully generating referrals. 2, discuss and practice several quick and easy techniques in comfortably generating referrals. And 3, clarify our referral generation expectations here at AP. Let's go ahead and get started. You, as everybody else on our AP team, is obviously interested in assisting more students in achieving their educational goals. Otherwise, we wouldn't be in our roles. Let's talk about how we can positively change more lives. Did you know that customers are 4 times more likely to buy when referred by a friend? 49% of customers say friends and family are their top sources of brand awareness. A referred customer is 18% more loyal than a customer acquired through a different method, and referrals are 32 times more likely to present you with additional referrals. Wow! Before continuing with the rest of the presentation, just pause for a moment and jot down some answers to the questions on your screen. When are you most commonly asking for a referral? What is the frequency of your asks? What is your success rate in generating referrals? And what do you struggle with the most in your attempts to generate referrals? Once you've jotted down some answers, go ahead and continue. Let's think about our personal lives for a moment. How many people do you know? Think about your family, extended family, friends, co-workers, and those people in your communities. Then think about those people that you know through social media, not only in your city, but your state, country, and around the world. What is the number? Is it 100? 3,000? 10,000? More? Whatever the number you came up with, it's most certainly a large number. If I were to ask you a general question about who you know that may be interested in a certain product or service, what happens? Is your brain skimming through your extensive list of contacts to come up with a name? Have you ever seen or used a spiral wishing well as shown on your screen right now? Many of you have. And as that penny circles round and round before eventually dropping, imagine your brain circling through the extensive list of people that you know in order to think of somebody that may be interested in that product or service. It not only takes time, especially if you have a lot of contacts, but many times we cannot think of an answer because we're just simply too overwhelmed. Let's just spend another minute or two focusing on the people that you know. What groups or organizations are you currently part of? Obviously, you're part of a group here at AP as your employer, but think about your family and extended family, community, school, extracurricular, religious, professional, political, and support. If I were to now ask you who you know, but from one of these specific groups or organizations, how much quicker and easier was it for your brain to think of a name? Probably much, right? When we use the same technique in order to help our students focus on their specific groups and organizations to provide us with possible referrals, this is called referral by association. Let's take a few minutes to compare. When asking for referrals in a general manner, most likely what we're doing now, we would say something like this. Jessica, do you know anybody else who may be interested in a bachelor degree in nursing through UTA? When asking for a referral by association, it would sound something like this. Jessica, Earlier you mentioned that you work at Baylor Medical Center and that your organization is requiring that employed nurses must have at least a BS in nursing by the year 2020. With that deadline approaching, who else in your unit or on your floor may also benefit from discussing a bachelor's degree in nursing through UTA? Let's compare another example. When asking for referrals in a general manner, again it would sound something like this. John, do you know anybody else who may be interested in obtaining a master's degree in business administration? When asking for referrals by association, it could sound something like this. John, earlier you mentioned that you were actively involved in the American Management Association. Do you know anybody else within that organization that would also benefit from the marketable skills that an MBA from University of Delaware would provide? And a final example. The general way to ask for a referral would again be, Bill, do you know anybody else who may be interested in obtaining a master's degree in educational leadership? When asking for a referral by association, it could sound something like this. Bill, it's great to hear that you're successfully completing your educational leadership courses while also juggling your full-time teaching position. Do you know of another teacher at Greenway High that would like to obtain a master's degree from a prestigious university, but also needs that flexibility of an online degree program like Arizona State University does? Before taking some time to practice asking for referrals by association, let's discuss the 3 tips for referral success. These are important tips, so write them down. Number 1, you must truly believe that you're helping another prospective student by asking for a referral. Our role is to help students reach their educational goals, and when asking how you can possibly change another life, it's not a pushy sales tactic. Number 2, take the time to build rapport. Spend time learning more about your student before promoting a program, university, or asking who they know by association. By taking that time to build rapport, we foster an environment of trust and start building a relationship. Think about what questions you can ask to learn more about your students while also building rapport. And are you asking those questions in a conversational style? And lastly, get comfortable with referral discussions. Come up with a transitional statement that helps you comfortably move from your focus on the student to a possible referral by association. Before continuing with this presentation, just stop for a moment to practice asking for referrals by association. Get comfortable with the new technique before speaking with a live student. Take these few minutes to practice your role and your typical conversations. Ask questions to learn more about your mock student while also building rapport, and then skip to the portion of your conversation that you would typically ask for a referral. Then, practice asking by association. When you're done, think about some of these questions. How did that feel? Did it feel different to you, your student? Did your mock student feel more comfortable with you because you spent time learning about them and creating trust? When you asked by association, was your mock student able to produce a name with little to no thought? Feel free to role play this several times until you're comfortable. When you're comfortable, continue on with the presentation. As our last objective for today's presentation, let's discuss the expectations for generating referrals. It's really quite simple. Just ask every time by association. At the beginning of this presentation, I asked you some questions about your current referral generation. Here are some common responses to those questions and some solutions to help you find referral success. The majority of you are asking at the end of a presentation or conversation, but some of you have found success in asking for a referral at the beginning or even in the middle of a conversation or presentation. When's the right time? There really isn't a right or wrong time, as long as you've taken that time to build rapport and are asking by association. The general consensus is that we're not asking for referrals consistently or even often enough. With the technique of asking by association after building rapport, and with your new confidence in asking, you should see an increase in your asks and an increase in your success. Lastly, most of you stated that you struggle with feeling too pushy or are uncomfortable asking. By building rapport, believing that you're helping others, and asking by association, which creates more success, you should no longer feel pushy or uncomfortable. Thank you for joining our presentation on generating referrals by association.